Well, it is July 16th, 2024, and I'm doing the 18th original cover for one of my new issues of Tablebeast, version 1.0.1. This is what the cover looks like the way I get them when they're printed. And as you'll see inside here, this page is blank right here, but this is where it will be numbered and signed and dated in this little area here. This is like the inner cover. And you've got, 32 full color pages. Each page is its own image. Ooh. And they were done on a bunch of different types of papers, at least early on. I was experimenting. About halfway through, I switched to watercolor paper right through here and just took on a whole new form. Anyhow, so what I'm doing here is I'm taking this copy, and so I printed 50 copies like this with a mostly blank cover. If you look carefully, you can see that I burned the edges and crumpled up a piece of paper and then scanned it. And anyway, that way I already got like a little head start on some texture and stuff. But it's all to kind of fool the viewer. If I hadn't told you it was an original drawing on the cover, you probably would just think it was printed that way. Because I'm going to be using only black ink. I have a few different tools I'm going to use. I use these Feud pens from Pentel, Japan. It's loaded with Japanese writing all over it. The only English that I can read is what it says right here, the FP5M, which is Feud pen, I guess Series 5, and then M is medium. I have a medium, and then a fine. This is FP5F. They have other sizes, but other ink formulations and whatever. I like these. These are, dye, pigment, whichever one lasts longer. I think they're pigment based. Yeah, these gray bodied ones are pigment based, and they are they're not waterproof. Like, it's not oil based or anything like that. It's a water based ink, but it's a water based pigment. So it's wet for, depending on the paper, a brief amount of time. I don't really do much wet stuff on here unless I spill some or some drips out. These are a little unique. You have to squeeze them to put ink back in the little well here. And if you get a little too aggressive with it, sometimes you'll have a little drip come out of these little side feeds. Kind of like a old dip ink pen. Anyhow, whenever that happens, I have to improvise and make the best of it. It's only happened a few times, but so I've got those pens, and then today, I've been rotating through a bunch of different art pens. These are Le Pen drawing by Marvi Uchida. Yeah, Uchida of America Corp. More Japanese stuff, even though it's a French name. That's so funny. The Japanese just seem to make the best art supplies anymore. I don't know if that's, at least for what I like to do, the ink, the drawing. Sorry, that first Le Pen is a B, which is a brush. And it's one of those little, I don't know what it is, it's some kind of foam brush. And it definitely wears out quickly and loses its sharp edge. And I do not like this type of brush nearly as much as I like these nylon Feud brushes. See, the tips on these are nylon and they last for a long time. You can actually replace this ink. This whole bottom part is the ink itself, and you can replace it. And so far I've replaced one twice, and even the third tank is still good. Like, the tip is still good. It's not worn out yet. I do see a tiny bit of wear on it, and these do wear out kind of in a different way where they'll dry over time. And as long as you've got the water-based ones, you just kind of rinse them out in some water, and then You got to draw with them for a bit to get that thinned out ink back out so where it's thick again. But anyway, these are fantastic. If Pentel wants to like sponsor me or send me some stuff, I like their pens too. In fact, you'll see in another video I'll have some of their art pens, which are comparable to these. But this one, the regular point, so I got a 0.8 as well. I love that size. It's a big fat pen. A lot of these guys who use these micron style or whatever the heck they want to call them, they have like a little rounded tip, depending on the style. Some of them are a little more square, but I like these because they come a little round, so I can still vary. It's not such a dead line. I can still vary the line a little bit. So anyway, 0.8 I like, 0.5 is okay. Smaller than that, I mean, they're useful, I guess, for certain things, but I don't know how to describe it. My very animated style, not like it's for animation, but I move around a lot. Like, my hand is very active. I'm not one of those guys that really scrawl slowly and carefully. I mean, I can, and I have before, frustratingly, but I'm embracing this style where I move around a lot, and I find that just the durability of the larger tip, it just holds up to that kind of abuse much better. The finer points, like a 0.1, a 0.005, which is so much smaller than a 0.8. I mean, that's less than 10% as wide. It's a hair, 2 hairs maybe, because they do make a 0.003 that I've seen. Anyhow, just too small for me. It takes me forever to get detail out of them. Like, I like to work fast. I like to get a lot of meat out of my ink. So you're going to see a lot of brushes. You're going to see a lot of 8, a lot of 5. I may get down to a 3 or a 2, but you're never going to see me go below a 2. Even that would be rare. So anyway, I know there's like 4 people on the entire planet that are nerdy enough to care about all this stuff, but I'm one of them. So you're going to hear about it. You can always just skip all this if you want. So this is my my issue, and this is, like I said, this is going to be number 18 of 50 when I'm done with the drawing. And I'll show you how I do that. So, like I said, I've had this printed special so that I could draw on it. I had it printed blank for this special edition so that I could draw on the cover for each of the 50. That's right, I will be doing 50 different covers, and each one of the 50 are completely different and original. Is that clear? The first one I sent to my dad, he wasn't clear on that, and there's even a cover letter that explains it, but it seems like a lot of work. I guess people are just expecting. So I'm sorry. Here, what I'm doing here is I have this old piece of paper that I use to protect the issue, and then I burnish the spine with this a bone folder. I have an actual bone folder tool, which sounds awesome, by the way. A bone folder, right? But it's used for magazines and publishing and stuff to like crease spines and have stuff lay flat. Sometimes you gotta whatever. This is half of a brush that I bobbed into a shorter brush, and I kept the part that I was supposed to throw away as a handle, and now it's just a burnishing tool. Anyway, you'll see the proper bone folder later, and it'll make more sense. But so what I'm doing here is I'm just flattening out that spine so that it's easier for me to draw on this. When I'm done with the drawing, I'll come back and fold it in half, and then use the same tool with the same piece of paper and flatten it back out, fold it, so that it doesn't puff up. Yeah, I know, I'm all OCD about this stuff. That's okay though. And then I have these little drafting dots, which I know now that I put it on camera here, it's gonna betray me and not work properly. So what I'm doing, because the black ink on here, these little drafting dots, they pull on it pretty hard, and I don't like it, so decided to actually tape to the first page lightly. I lightly, this is just to hold it onto the desk, because the desk is not flat, it's at an angle. So, but then I burnish this down and keep that, and try not to be too much. When I'm done, it makes it easier for me to just peel this back off. These are drafting dots, and I don't care about the brand, whatever. They're designed to come off. They're not supposed to stay. Although every once in a while I do get some residue from them. Like, you specifically buy them to not leave residue, but so anyway, see, that's in the last one. We'll do the same thing there. Oh, you can't see, my arm's in the way. What the heck happened there? Oh, okay. The light looked really weird. Okay, this is just a test run. So there you go. That's my blank page, and now it's ready to be drawn on. I'll make these videos better, and anyway, just a test run.